I want to talk about like the symbolism in this first episode of Euphoria because there's so much and I feel like everybody's missing it. Like everybody's so hung up on the fact that like, oh, Sydney Sweeney's in a dog costume. Okay, but Nate is the one on the leash in this scene. And that's the beauty of this scene because Nate's entire character has been him doing everything to protect his idea of what masculinity is, his dominance, right? And he's done all this to obtain the prize, which is a woman, right? Which is a wife. He's done all this to obtain some form of normalcy, right? And to keep that and to do that to maintain this normalcy that he's created, he has to satisfy Cassie's like insatiable greed. Cassie's sitting beside her pool, right? Talking about how she doesn't want to argue about money for $50,000 worth of flowers. Like she like and then the contrast of their lives in the scene. So Nate's getting home from work, right? While Cassie's dressed like a dog, she's playing pretend. This seems like a more well-adjusted version of Nate. I feel like he's had to adjust to life better, to take over the business, to be in the corporate world, to have a career, right? He's living in the real world, he's suffering in the real world while Cassie's thriving in this fantasy. But she's still not content. But Nate is content because he feels like he's obtained a wife to love him because he's perfected his masculinity, right? But to maintain this fulfillment, he has to fulfill her, and she cannot be fulfilled. Even when he talks to her, like you see like him choose his words very carefully. He says, what if one of the investors sees it? He doesn't talk about how he feels about it because he knows Cassie doesn't care how he feels about it. And he calls her a prostitute, and she makes this look at him, and immediately he changes. She used her sexuality to manipulate him out of whatever train of thought he was having. And then I wanted to talk about this scene with Rue, right? With the truck. The truck represents Rue's habit, right? And the desert is her life. You see, at the beginning, she's stuck and she's helped out of that stuck place being that depression or just a rough spot, right? Then she rides through the desert and it carries her to a point where she can no longer take it with her. She can't take the truck anymore because the truck is too heavy. That's why it's teetering, because she's teetering back and forth between being an addict and trying to get clean, right? She's teetering between her old life and finding God. So she leaves the truck behind and then she walks into the desert. She has no idea where she's going. She has no idea how she's going to get there. She doesn't have any water with her. She could have passed out in the middle of the desert and died. But she comes to a barn, falls asleep, and then wakes up to a little girl offering her milk. When did Rue become an addict? As a child, when she took her father's medication. And this little girl just happens to be a Christian. So the symbolism is this little girl offering her milk, who's a Christian, saving her life. Like her house being there was God intervening and saving Rue's life. And then that's reflected at the end of the episode when she gets the apple shot off of her head because she has faith. There's so much to unpack here, bro. Like I gotta do a YouTube video. Like I gotta like stream this shit or something. Like, and this is just off my first watch. Like I'm sure there's gonna be so much more here to break down, and then these are gonna be like even more interesting to go back and watch after the rest of the season.